Thank you, everybody, for coming today. We'll go ahead and start the service. Welcome to the People's Church of Divine Prophecy Sunday service. To start, a couple of quick housekeeping rules. Please put your phones on silent unless you're medical or law enforcement personnel. The restrooms are down the hall, quick right, quick left. Help yourself to that. There's cold drinks in the fridge, hot drinks on the table. Help yourself to any at all times. I'd like to ask Bonnie to light the 3 candles to start the service, symbolizing the unity of body, mind, and spirit. Thank you. Looks like we're all here today, body, mind, and spirit. Please stand for the first hymn. Well, stand for the opening prayer and remain standing for the first hymn. Dear Father God, we give thanks for being here today. We give thanks for all those that have come and shared of their hope and dreams today. May they find what they are seeking. May we feel your divine presence in all here today, and may we be moved to better spiritual connection by it. May we share that connection with all those around us in love and hope. Amen.
Amen. Number 11, Peace Like a River. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river, I got peace like a river in my soul. I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean, I got love like an ocean in my soul. I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain in my soul. I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain, I got joy like a fountain in my soul.
All right. Please be seated. The next portion is a thought for the day from the pastor. This is where something that's come into my life the past week, and I've put it into a spiritual perspective, or not, through a discipline that I'm trying to bring into my life. But it's nice to know that everybody's human. Not good to put anybody up above anybody else. I know I did an interview with Ripley's Believe It or Not yesterday in Casadega. And they do an annual magazine type of thing, and they're going to do a big article on Casadega this year. And they were asking me about healing and mediumship. And one of the things that is a misconception is that the people that by being mediums and healers seem to be get a buy on having to deal with life, that we have some special connection and we walk this wonderful path of peace and harmony. And I told her that we still have to walk the path that all human beings walk. We are human beings. We just have a little different skill to produce different things, but we still have to walk that walk just like everybody else does. What we have is a broader spiritual view that we believe in, and by practicing it through mediumship and healing, it's a little more ingrained in us than most people, because we work with it every day. We see the demonstration of it in other people's lives every day. So it does help, but at times we still are human about what goes on with us. And The more sensitive you are to spirit, the more sensitive you are to your own weaknesses and difficulties. You don't get out of it. It's actually the opposite of what people think. You have to deal with it even more. When I was in a group trying to stop drinking, and after about 10 years I was able to do service work. They had a philosophy there that you had to work twice as hard on your own program once you started doing service work, because it does make that more sensitive. Your issues, your challenges get more prominent with you. I saw an interesting saying the other day. I was working with somebody at work. I had a day job other than doing the spiritual work. And she had an interesting saying on her cubicle, and it said, a bad attitude is like a flat tire. You can't go anywhere until you change it. So I thought that was very interesting and very apropos. You know, the universe speaks back to you all the time with little sayings like that. And like I said, I don't know what her religious convictions were, but it speaks to me in the way that I understand it. And we see those things a lot. And the universe does speak to you, but once again, the human side of us tends to overshadow that a lot of times with the emotions and the difficulties. I was driving down the road the other day, and I happened to look up, and I have certain animals that, and I don't believe in pagan worship, but I do believe in the universe talking to you, spirit making things happen through the natural forces of the universe to give you a message. And red-winged hawks tend to be a lot of the vehicles that they used for me when I'm distressed or distraught. And I happened to just look out the window of my truck riding down the road, and a hawk got between me and the sun at this perfect angle. It wasn't directly between us. When I looked up, all I saw was this beautiful golden light outlined by a hawk. Just this beautiful, soft, brown golden light that was just amazing to see. And it really gladdened my heart at that time. And you know, how many people miss those kind of things? And that's what you have to do, is be open to being inspired by spirit. See the normal things in the life around you. Too many times we think the only time we can communicate with spirit is with our eyes closed and doing our chants and doing whatever ritual we believe is meditation. But the universe speaks to you. God speaks to you through the universe all the time. The sign on that woman's cubicle, the hawk overhead. These are natural occurrences that at the right time, at the right place, they make an impact on you. So I would say to you, please keep your eyes open. Be ready to be impressed at any time from a message from Spirit in the simplest, most unexpected ways. And your life will be enriched almost every day. Thank you for listening. Please stand for the next thing.
Number 6, Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Kumbaya, my Lord. Kumbaya. Oh Lord.
portion of service is the healing portion. And I would like to ask Marty if you're available to do healing and Linda to do healings. The way this works is that you take a seat in the chair, you'll hear a chime during the guided meditation, which will be led by Ashkhen. That means that a chair has become vacant, usually in the back there. So move back there if the chairs are open, and we'll move you forward to receive healing during the service. That way you can enjoy the meditation as well as the contact healing. So, we'll start this by reading the prayer for spiritual healing in bold on the back of the hymnal. I ask the great unseen healing force to remove all obstructions from my mind and body and to restore me to perfect health. I ask this in all sincerity and honesty, and I will do my part. I ask this great unseen healing force to help both present and absent ones who are in need of help and to restore them to perfect health. I put my trust in the love and power of God. You may now take seats in front of the healers and in the back, if you'd like to, please.
Good morning. Good morning. Let's get ready for the meditation. Find a comfortable position to sit. Just sit comfortably. Feet straight on the floor. Palms up in your lap. You may close your eyes. Take a few deep breaths. Inhale and exhale. Breathe as deep as you can. Feel your breath as you inhale, reaching all the way down to your lower abdomen. Hold it for a few seconds and then just exhale through your mouth. With each inhale and exhale, feel your body relaxing more and more. Feel your mind becoming quiet. Just engage with the mechanism of your breath. Let go of all the thoughts that are on your mind. Just follow the motion of your breath. That is taking you deeper and deeper within yourself. To a very peaceful and quiet presence. Connect with this peaceful presence. And repeat to yourself gently, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. With each inhale and exhale, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. Feel the peaceful sensations flowing along with your breath. While you repeat, I am at peace within and with my surroundings. In the presence of God, by the I Am presence, I now call forth the divine healing energy to be here at this time and to provide each one of us with the healings that we need for our mind, body, and spirit. As we call upon the law of forgiveness, we forgive all those who have hurt us. We forgive those who have caused us pain and suffering. We forgive and we detach with love. We let go emotions of fear, anger, resentment. We let go of whatever is holding us back from achieving our highest potentials. We let them go to the light of God that never fails. And we ask God the omnipotent, omnipresent, omniscient, to be in charge of our lives, our existence, our soul and spirit, while we are here in this physical plane, on earth and beyond. While you breathe, shift your awareness slowly higher to your forehead. As you look through your spirit eye, envision a brilliant, brilliant golden light far above. See the energies from this golden light coming straight to your forehead and spreading gently in and around your forehead and above your head. See this healing energy, healing, clearing your mental body as you release and let go of all the limiting thoughts that are interfering with your spiritual growth. Release and let go of the beliefs that are interfering with your highest potentials. Feel this healing energy, clearing your thoughts. Just follow the energy that is moving to the back of your head, rushing down to your neck, down to your shoulders, extending to your arms, your hands, to your fingers. See this golden energy filling your chest, See the energy healing the tissues, the cells in your body, healing the protons, the neutrons, the electrons. Just envision your body and see the energy flowing throughout your entire body. Envision every single atom in your body vibrating with this divine healing energy. Healing your DNA to its original condition. Breathe in and breathe out. Just go with the flow of this healing energy. See it moving down to your knees, down to your feet, and exiting through the soles of your feet. Feel this golden energy expanding outside your physical body and creating a beautiful circle of golden light, filling your entire aura, stabilizing your electromagnetic field, balancing, harmonizing. See yourself surrounded with this brilliant golden light. The more light you project, the more light you attract. Feel this energy and the light expanding and contracting with each breath. As you look with your third eye, see yourself as a tower of brilliant light, shining. And see the rays of this golden light reaching and flowing everywhere. Envision the world in front of you, Mother Earth. While you observe, you feel the unrest, the upheaval, the chaos around the world. Parts of the world that are in agony. There are wars. While you stand tall as a tower of light, send your light to those regions, to the parts around the world, to the people, to humanity. See your light reaching to those areas. Stand tall in your divinity and allow your light to shine and create a shift in the consciousness of humanity towards peace, love, and harmony. Stand tall and create that vision. You have the power to create your realities. as you once created in the higher dimensions of the universe. You created heaven and earth. Create that vision today. Envision a new world, a new earth, a new consciousness being birthed with a brighter vision, a greater vision that serves the goodness, the highest good of all. Create that vision. And let the cries of the children be replaced with laughter, and the mourning hearts to be replaced with joy, hope. Create that vision. Let the aggression and the separation dissolve. Envision a beautiful earth, a unified earth. Envision people gathering, holding hands, with love, unity, and harmony. Create peace on earth. Be the change for peace. Let peace prevail on earth. Let peace prevail on earth. Hold your highest intentions and will that serves the highest good for our humanity and our planet. See Mother Earth living her golden ages again with brilliant golden light penetrating, vibrating everywhere. And let this vision integrate deep into your consciousness. Let there be peace on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be love on earth. Let it begin with us. Let there be light on earth. Let it begin with us. Hold this vision in your consciousness and feel your peaceful life. As you start coming back slowly, integrate your vision, integrate your will, and the peaceful vibrations wherever you are. Let there be peace within you and in your surroundings. Let there be peace, and be the peace that you are, wherever you are. Be the peace that you are. Feel your breath slowly coming back. Come back to the here and now. Become aware of your physical senses. When you're ready, you can open your eyes.
We'll end this portion with an inspirational reading. This is the 10th law of the 10 laws of spiritual right as tranced by Emma Hardage, written to the earth. Manifest love above and beyond everything else. Seek to cultivate in our families, friends, and among fellow human beings the feeling of that real love which cannot think, speak, or do a wrong to any creature, remembering that where love is, all other principles of right are embodied and fulfilled by it. I would like to thank the healers and Ashkhen for the inspirational work that they did. Linda Walsh, who was the one that was healing in the chair closest to Lori, has these statements in the back. If you received a healing from her and would like to make a comment about it for her to finalize her healing certification, they're on the back table. Please stand for the next hymn.
Number 9, I'll fly away. Some black morning when this life is over, I'll fly away to that home on God's celestial shore. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. And the shadows of this life have flown. I'll fly away. Like a bird flown, driven by a storm. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. Just a little more weary days and then I'll fly away to the land where joy shall never end. I'll fly away. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away. One more time. I'll fly away, oh glory. I'll fly away in the morning when I die. Hallelujah, by and by. I'll fly away.
Please be seated. The next portion of the service is an inspirational lecture. Today we have Sagar here to do the lecture. Joy's upbringing in India conditioned him to observe and participate with other religions with respect and reverence to what they profess and believe. The awareness of such things and insights includes Vedic astrology, mediumship, and intuitive ability and healing. Through these gifts, he's able to connect with spirit and people on the earth plane and help them along their paths. Please welcome Sagar.
Okay, now I'm wired. Who else is? I believe with the meditation and the beautiful music, we are all wired right now. Okay. I speak with inspiration, so as these words that you would hear are for you and for me. So I keep that in perspective, and I want to say I speak from the heart. So as I was preparing for this service, I was given a piece that I had to do. So I will do that, and beyond that, it's in Spirit's hands. I was being reminded as I was thinking about what to do, what to speak, because it's always as nice to be prepared. But Spirit, at most of circumstances for me, it always keep me on my toes. So this is what I was given. This is This was written many years ago in India, and these are called the 7 virtues of happiness. And I will recite it in Hindi, and then I'll translate them in English and try to see where we go from there. So they say the 7 basic happinesses: Pratme Rup Sukh Nirogi Khaya, Duja Sukh Jo Ghar Mein Maya, Tija Sukh Sulakshan Nari, Chautha Sukh Put Agyakari, Pancham Sukh Sudar Nivas, Chata Sukh Ho Vyapak Vaisar, Satwa Sukh Ho Mitra Ghanere. These, as they translate, the number one happiness is to have a good physical body, a healthy body. The second one is to say to have prosperity or abundance. Literally translates into money. The third happiness translates in having a beloved wife, a sincere, a loving wife, but it can also be translated in husband and wife, because these basic happinesses are not just for men, it's for everybody, so the gender is neutral in those terms. The fourth is that you have good kids. It's a great virtue to have good kids. The fifth happiness is to have a good house, a safe and sound house that meets your basic needs. And the sixth is you have a good employment or disposition where you engage in terms of work. And the seventh happiness is to have friends that are there with you that you can count on, and vice versa. So this is what Spirit gave me, but as I'm reflecting on the thought, this was written many years ago, and beyond that, things have changed. Everything has changed. So in the last couple of days, I've been just hashing it out, like, how do I tie in with this? But to honor the Spirit inspiration, this is what I have. But what is coming more clearly is about one of our principles in our spiritualist book that says, the doorway to reformation is never closed to any human soul, here or hereafter. And within that condition, if I had to tie in, it's very hard for me to tie in with the Spirit message, but I will try to do my best. So going back into our Indian culture and stories, real and mythological, there are lots of them. And there's an example of this child that is born in a very high influential man's house. And based on their astrology chart, he is born under the stars and constellation that will make him a famous killer and a bandit. Astrology is pretty influenced in Eastern communities still to this day. But the story goes, so this man has money, house, all these 7 ingredients that he should have. The kid is being born and he cannot just give him away or do anything with it. So he is aware of that process, and he gives him the best education. He sends him to the best teachers for knowledge and awareness and spiritual gifts, and the kid is doing remarkable. In today's terminology, a great student and perfect GPA and whatnot. So he's further sent to another teacher to learn about the spiritual texts that are specific to his religion. And he does magnificently well. And the teacher, when it comes time to ask for exchange of the gratitude with the teacher, in India we call Guru Dakshina. In other words, you have a mentor, he teaches you, he gives you all his skills, and when it comes time to get his blessing, the teacher can ask anything out of the universe, and you have to fulfill that. Without that, your part of tutelage is not complete. So the teacher, for whatever reason, says, I want 10,000 fingers from your right hand. And as the story goes, this kid is so devout to his teachers, he takes upon himself, and he goes out there starting chopping people's fingers, and becomes what the astrology had dictated to be a killer, to get to complete his things. So over time, his number is 999, he's almost there. And his mother is worried that if he does one more thing, she has to stop him, she has to change his heart, she has to make a difference, she has to create a sense of awareness within him. This is not necessary, you have to leave it alone. But this person, this kid, a mature adult, is still pursuing those activities to fulfill what he's obligated to his teacher. So the mother is really worried, and the father finds out about mother's worry that she's about to embark on finding him wherever he's hiding, and to find him and talk to him. And the father knows that if that happens, he is bound by his commitment, and he will do what it takes to complete that number. On the other hand, Lord Buddha, at that time, through his own divine eye, as the text says, knows about the situation, and he's seeing that if he takes a step ahead of the mother, he would be his 1,000th victim. And just by the holiness, just by his permanence, his stature, if he does that, he would attain, he'll be absolved from all the 999 things that he has done prior to today. So there's a little the chase going on between the mother and Lord Buddha. Now Lord Buddha is divine, he knows where everybody is, and he knows where he can find him, so he makes himself appear close to him. And there is a long conversation that goes in about what is right, what is wrong, and this is a very thing, and Buddha encourages him to take his life, take his limbs and present it to his teacher and reform himself. And this man just breaks down, absolutely drenched in his awareness that what he has done is okay, but he does not have to continue that pathway. And through years after that, he finds reformation, he finds an ability to change and mend his ways, and he becomes what his family lineage was there for. He never became the principal of the community, but he did all that he could through helping others, through giving people money to do what they needed. So he did a lot of work, not to cover up himself what he did, but since he was reformed, he was no longer following his pathway. He has broken loose of the constellation that were setting him forth. The Lord Buddha's influence over him took over all his negativity and allowed him a chance to improve and do something differently. Another example is that within the Eastern philosophy is, once again, not going into graphics, but this man is abandoned. You know, like we have in the out west, we have our own version of bandits that would rob people of their belongings and everything. He's not a killer by any means, but he's doing all those things. And he's doing it and doing it. And in the Eastern philosophy, there's a mediator between the God and the human being. His name is Narada. Very interesting, very colorful character. He has no fear because he knows he has blessings from both sides. So he's safe. So he goes and talks to him and says, you know, why don't you start chanting Lord Ram's name? And if you say Ram, 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 you'll be exalted, and the change of heart will come upon time, but you'll at least be doing things in the right manner. And he is so full of himself, and he says, no, I would recite the other way around, because that's what I like to do. And he starts chanting Mara, 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 Mara. But it's like one of those, you say it as fast as you can, it sounds the same. So if you say Mara, 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 it sounds like Rama, 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 Rama. So he, out of his ego, he starts to do that. And he says, oh, that's fine, you keep doing that. At least there's a chant for you. It has a focus there for you. You're doing it to get away from change of heart, but it'll get you there. So Narad leaves him alone, and over time, he chants and chants and chants, and he sees like his desires of being hurtful and harmful are no longer existing there. He's absolutely not interested in doing any of the things that he wanted to do. All he wanted to do was sit under a tree, read text, and chant. Ram, 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 Ram. And he elevated himself so much over time that he became the author of the sacred text of the Hindu religion that we know as the Ramayana. It tells the tale of Lord Ram and his experiences within that religion. He was allowed to write his story because he elevated himself just by his stubbornness. There are other examples here in our Western culture, also within our Bible. If we see, we know our 12 apostles they were not who they were from the day one, but they were taken under consideration that, not all human beings are alike, and everybody has the opportunity and a chance to do something for themselves to take them from point A to point B. And we read them, I'm sure most of us have read Bible several times. We have read through their stories and chapters over and over again. So here it comes the conversation about, as I'm sitting and thinking about the 7 happiness and how it's tying in. So since we have our physical bodies that we need to be respectful for, but we recognize our healths are totally influenced by circumstances. Some are genetic, some are related to our own ignorance to ourselves. But the virtues of these happiness just say, if we stay in the course, if we stay on focus to where we want to be in our lives, we can overcome and create the pathways that will lead us to the point and place we want to be in our lives. Be it physically, if we want to be healthy, even if the conditions that are incorrectable through medical laws, miracles happen on a day-to-day basis, on a moment-to-moment basis. Our own belief in our own well-being is what creates our healthy miracles. That is always possible. Even if you're taking steps in the right direction to make those corrections, that is a huge success on any given day, on any given moment. Same goes with about our ability to transcend ourselves through limitations of money. Any action that is taken in the direction where you don't have excessively or through the methods that are not approved by your own self, it's very interesting how it comes forward. One of my Reiki teachers back in India had said, we were discussing about healing and how healing impacts and the process flows. And he said, most of our physical limitations in our body comes with a sense of feeling the guilt or being free from the guilt. And since energies respond physically and they manifest physically, we address those situations in that way. And then he went on a long dissertation about our metaphysical processes and how the health and illnesses. Louis Hay has written a book about it. You can heal yourself, and at the end of the book, there are so many things. And I had no idea about Louis Hay's and books. I was reading ahead of time. But this conversation, when I think in terms of what is right and what is wrong, it's very individual, and it's different for everybody. There's no one way. Just like ethics are different for everybody, it's different for all of us. So in my impression of our spiritualist principle, it always allows us to keep our focus on our development. Whatever that is, even if it's a small scratch on the surface, it's a big wipeout on a blackboard, whatever that is for us on an individual basis, if we keep ourselves moving in a forward motion, just like Reverend Atkins shared his personal story about the red-winged hawk, if we notice our signs, if we pay attention to our signs, we know to understand the message. We will get that message across, and we will reflect upon ourselves and improve from that point forward. You really don't have to go really too far back in the past trying to wipe out or correct those actions. If any of our actions, we can address them today, see them as they are right now, and move from that point on forward, because life is always going forward. I mean, we saw that movie, Curious Case of Benjamin Button. His life was going backwards, but that's not the case. We are going in the forward motion. So anytime we address ourselves at one point, we know We can always go forward. We can always correct that. We can always correct it to our own understanding. There are a lot that we can resolve in our own psyche, in our own mind, that allows us corrective measures as we go on forward. It is so far so believed that within our spiritualist religion and philosophy that these doorways to reformation are not closed even when we pass on. Even when we change from our physical body to a spiritual body, we have the opportunity to keep working on what we can change, what we have been working on as we are passing. Recently, last Sunday, I did a talk, and my talk became a homage to Wayne Dyer. He has inspired me a lot in terms of presentation, to say the least. And I always look upon that, and as I think in this context, he was dealing with his physical situation. He had a lot of physical conditions. Recently, I was listening to one of his long dissertations, and he said he had been an alcoholic for many years. But he put that forward motion. He addressed that and moved on with it, and he corrected that. He quit drinking. Once again, he had a sign. He had a voice that he heard outside his physical body. He paid attention to that sign. He allowed himself to move on. Our natural law of allowance is such a beautiful thing in its own thing. When we allow ourselves, we receive. And when we receive, we understand. And we understand, we do more of it. And Wayne Dyer was also dealing with leukemia. But his physical condition never stopped him from doing what he loved to do the most. And as I was thinking about our principle, our reformations should boost our passions to change ourselves in such a great degree that not only we should make that changes in ourselves, but we need to talk about them. We need to pass it on. A little bit of zest and enthusiasm within our own progress can influence somebody else who's right next to you, left or right, forward or backward. We never know who can take that little boost of impression, little smear of happy and progressiveness and make changes in their own lives. Life can be ever so transforming, not only for ourselves, if we allow it to be, but to all that come in our contact, all that we touch by work, by prayer, by meditation, by just being there in stillness and in quiet. I'm not sure if Lao Tzu said this or Rumi said this. I've been reading both of them too. And it says, you be still and you'll get there. And within the stillness, I just want to say one more time, my journey today, since I'm my best example, my best model that I can follow, because I know myself far more superiorly than anybody else. My transformational journey is just as good as yours. And I'm just the same as you are. No different. Nothing to write home about. They're always keeping the best foot forward, always staying in forward motion, always allowing myself to understand, recognize, accept, and allow myself to take the next best step. Thank you for being here, and thank you for listening.